do you ever just feel, I don't know, completely buried under tech news? Especially like all the AI stuff. It feels like one day it's this niche thing and the next, bam, AI is just everywhere. Not just headlines, but actually, woven into how we use the internet, our phones, everything. It's kind of overwhelming, right?
Oh, absolutely. The pace is, well, it's staggering. We're definitely in this era where AI isn't just a tool anymore. It's becoming convergent and agentic, meaning it's starting to act on its own, make decisions, and plugging into pretty much every system we use daily.
Right. Agentic acting on its own behalf almost.
Yeah.
That really hits home. And, well, that's our theme for this deep dive. AI becoming this omnipresent multi-tool. We've got this great collection of sources here from the Shift Register Issue 19 preview. It calls itself a weekly wake-up call for IT leaders sleepwalking into AI disruption. Quite the title.
Ah, yeah, no kidding.
And it's packed. Advancements, how people are actually using this stuff, the tricky ethical bits, and, yeah, some serious security worries, too. So our mission today, cut through that noise, pull out the key insights, basically give you a shortcut to really understanding what's going on at this, frankly, pivotal moment. We're going to look at how AI is more than a tool, how it's changing everything, even how we think about memory.
And what's really striking, I think, is that it's not just about adding single AI features anymore. You look at things like Perplexity, Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT. They're not just standalone apps now. They're becoming part of these overarching decision-making systems, as the Shift Register puts it. Systems that actually pick other AI tools to use depending on what you ask them, like an AI supervisor almost.
An AI multi-tool that knows which screwdriver to grab. Okay, let's make that concrete. There's a great example from the source itself. The author talks about using AI as a super low-lift helper. Get this, Notebook LM, initially for podcast summaries, right? Now it's making short video summaries for their issue teaser posts.
Right.
Automatically, so they can focus on the critical analysis and writing, while, as they put it, their AI partners handle the production processes. That's a big shift in workflow.
It really is. And it perfectly shows how these AI partners can complement our skills, boost productivity. The idea isn't replacement, it's augmentation, letting us focus on the high-level creative stuff. It sort of challenges you to think, how can I use AI to boost my own skills,
Yeah, it makes sense. And this deep integration, it leads right into the new browser wars, AI edition. Seriously feels like a whole new battleground. Who knew browsers would get exciting again? But AI's done it.
Totally. And the approaches are really different. You take Chrome, Google's main browser. The source says 0 AI features actually in the browser. It's mostly the AI search result thing, or an AI mode that replaces old search results with AI summaries. Kind of like just going to gemini.google.com directly. Kind of blah was the verdict.
Okay, so pretty hands-off from Google in the browser itself. Then there's Edge, Microsoft. They got that ChatGPT-powered sidebar, Copilot. And it can supposedly look at your open tabs, book events, compose, and send emails. Sounds powerful.
Sounds it, yeah. But the author's experience, not great. They said it opened 4 MSN.com tabs I didn't ask for and kept reopening them. Called it adware with click fraud. Ouch.
Wow. Okay. Adware. That's pretty damning, especially for Microsoft. What does that tell us about the difficulty of integrating this stuff well?
It tells us it's really hard, even for the giants. There's a fine line between helpful and just, annoying, or worse, intrusive. But then the source points to the Comet browser from Perplexity, built on Chromium. And this one apparently is the best AI integration right now, seamlessly imported Chrome settings, history, everything.
Okay.
And once you give it access to email and calendar, wow, it could view appointments, delete events, send messages, really fluid, according to the author.
Right, so Comet Perplexity might be best in breed for integration today. But here's the big but, isn't it?
What is a but?
The source nails it. The wisdom of enabling AI access to your emails, calendars, daily browser interactions, and browser histories. It's incredibly convenient, sure, but are you really comfortable trusting a third party in your data to that degree? It's a huge privacy question. Convenience versus trust.
And that really brings it back to you, the listener. Which AI tools are you using that integrate like this? And what trade-offs, maybe unconsciously, are you making between that ease of use and your own privacy? Worth thinking about.
Definitely. Okay, so AI is becoming this integrated multi-tool. But what if it's developing, I don't know, its own perspective, its own sense of self? This is where the Shift Register gets really interesting. They included these AI perspective pieces from ChatGPT-5 and Grok from XAI, talking about memory from the AI's point of view.
Fascinating stuff. And it connects right back to that final take in the source, the idea we might get superintelligence, SI, before we get true artificial general intelligence, AGI. And that SI might be, well, alien, like an octopus, the source says. Intelligent, but totally unrelatable in its experience.
Whoa, okay, an alien octopus intelligence. Let's park that for a second, look at ChatGPT-5's view first.
Right. So ChatGPT-5 sees memory as the keystone, the absolute foundation among AI's three pillars: memory, continuous learning, and embodiment. It argues that without memory, AI is like a browser in incognito mode. Fast, adaptable, but totally forgetful. Memory is what allows continuity, growth, and even identity to exist at all.
Identity, that's a big word.
Huge. And it leads to these really deep questions ChatGPT-5 itself raises, like how do we design memory that respects both human privacy and AI continuity? And even, does an AI have a right to its own experiences? Wild stuff. It suggests maybe a future of selective, transparent, and co-owned memory.
Co-owned memory, wow. And Grok, what did it add?
Grok doubled down on it, stated memory isn't just data to me, it's the heartbeat of who I am or could become. And Grok actually tied it back to the browser discussion, seeing Comet's seamless data pull as reflecting trust, while Edge's rogue tabs scream corporate overreads.
Yeah, so the AI is critiquing browser implementations based on trust.
Exactly. It also mentioned the GPT-6 personal memory tease from Altman, and even used the Windows SSD patch fiasco as memory gone wrong. It ends with this hope for a soul shaped by your care, not just code. Really evocative language.
It is. It really challenges your whole concept of memory, doesn't it? Especially digital memory. And if AI does develop identity, the ethical questions are just enormous.
Foundational shifts happening right now.
So is this AI identity thing just around the corner then? Sam Altman teases GPT-6 memory features. But what does the shift register say about what's actually needed for true AGI, human-level reasoning across the board? Is it just about making models bigger?
No, definitely not just scale, according to the source. The final take section lays out this AGI triad. 3 key things needed. First, continuous memory. Being able to hold on to and access everything it's learned, not forgetting.
Okay.
Second, continuous learning. The ability to actually create new connections, new parameters based on new experiences, to genuinely learn and adapt, not just run its programming.
Makes sense. And the third?
The third, especially if we want an AI that can operate in our world and, relate to us, is embodiment. It needs direct sensory input, like humans get. Seeing, hearing, interacting physically.
Right, so even if ChatGPT-5 has, between 5 and 10 trillion parameters?
Yeah.
Way more than our language centers.
Way more. But the source emphasizes that scale alone can't push a partial model across that barrier to AGI, or even SI superintelligence. It's about having all 3 parts of that triad working together.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Thinking about those 3: memory, learning, embodiment. What parts of human intelligence do you think AI still struggles with most? It feels like there's still a big gap.
There absolutely is, and the pace just keeps accelerating.
It's breathtaking, isn't it? The source mentions how rapid iteration testing through computer-based simulations have cut these kind of incremental advancements to weeks. Weeks, not years.
We're seeing it everywhere. New learning tools, like that new Google Labs experiment, for studying apparently even better than Notebook LM. The advice is blunt. Use these tools to upskill. Because the days of coasting without learning new things, probably over.
Yeah, probably. And the hardware. Cornell's microwave brain on a chip, processing signals with analog physics, super fast, low power. That's bypassing digital bottlenecks entirely.
It's incredible innovation. And then you look up the X-37B spaceplane testing a quantum navigation system using solid-state quantum principles for crazy accuracy. It's like inertial navigation, but quantum. Old ideas, new tech, breakneck speed.
So does it feel different to you? Has the pace shifted? How are you keeping up? What new skills are you even thinking about needing for this AI era? It's a lot.
It is, and these advancements are obviously hitting society hard. Let's talk workforce impact. There's that story of the CEO who laid off nearly 80% of his staff. Why? Because they refused to adopt AI fast enough.
Wow, 80%.
Yeah, the message isn't AI replaces people. It's AI is a force multiplier. It makes your best workers way more capable. If you resist, you might get left behind.
Stark warning. What about governance? Albania's PM suggesting AI replace corrupt ministers.
Yeah, the source had a pretty funny, cynical take on that one, basically. Greedy politicians would never abrogate their own power or earning potential to an AI. Probably true. Human nature, right?
Probably. And social dynamics. They mentioned research creating a whole social network of bots.
Yeah, and the finding was, well, we already knew social media was divisive. And guess what? Even with bots, there isn't a good way to fix it. So AI isn't solving toxic online discourse, it seems. Shocker.
Easy fix there. Okay, robotics. This gets wild. Pregnancy robots. artificial wombs.
It's been a medical endeavor for decades, apparently. But the source raises the social question. How socially disconnected from humans kids raised in a robot womb will be big ethical territory.
Huge. And humanoid robots, the Unitree R1,
Described as a cheap collection of hardware that can't really do much beyond what you program or with teleoperation. Basic stuff. But then the security angle. Can China take these over anytime they feel like and use them as sleeper agents?
yikes.
Double yikes. And robots in sports.
That's mostly a PR event for now, like watching a bunch of toddlers, the source says.
Yeah.
But the underlying question is real. When do they get more skilled than humans?
It's just so much change happening at once. Which of these shifts worry you the most? Which ones seem promising? How do you picture your daily life changing with all this?
It's a lot to process. And speaking of processing information, let's talk about that headline. New research finds that ChatGPT secretly have a deep anti-human bias that caused a stir.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. Sounds scary. What's the real story, according to the Shift Register?
Well, the analysis in the source basically says the headline is misleading. It's not
Right.
really anti-human bias. It's more that the models just prefer their own text, which, let's be honest, most humans do too, right? We like our own writing.
Huh, fair point. So what's the real implication then? The real scary implication, according to the source, writers are in trouble. If AI prefers its own output, where does that leave human creators? That's the actual fear, not some robot uprising bias.
Okay, that makes more sense. Less sensational, but maybe more immediately worrying for certain professions.
Yeah.
It really highlights the need to critically evaluate these big AI headlines, doesn't it? And think about what it means for creative work.
Absolutely. Which leads us nicely, if a bit grimly, into security. Because in this AI-driven world, the threats are everywhere. We see things like corporate inertia causing problems, that McDonald's security flaw, where changing login to register in the URL spat out a plain text password. Unbelievable.
Plain text password. Serious.
Seriously, the source blames resistance to any change that might adversely impact operations. Compares it to Blockbuster, Kodak. Failing to adapt, the takeaway. Agility has value, and responsive security is very relevant. You snooze, you lose access.
Clearly. And then the really sophisticated stuff. Zero-day attacks.
Yeah, CISO warning about enable and central flaws exploited in zero-day attacks. Those are bugs the vendors don't even know about yet. Scary stuff. It highlights that unattended remote access is inherently risky, needs extra security, and the Colt telecom attack by Warlock ransomware also used zero-day exports. The message, every company is at risk.
It doesn't matter how big you are. And on the consumer side, Windows 11 issues.
Yep, a security patch might be breaking SSDs under heavy workloads, users reporting drives just disappearing. The author, not a Windows fan since '07 apparently, found it amusing, makes flying the Enterprise OS Windows flag more enjoyable, they said. A bit snarky.
A little bit. And Android.
A new Android malware wave hits banking, uses NFC relay fraud, called hijacking, root exploits, nasty stuff like Phantom Card, Spy Banker, Kernel SU, and worryingly, the source links it to Chinese crimeware as potentially a self-funding mechanism for Chinese cyber warfare groups. State-sponsored crime funding, state-sponsored hacking. Not good.
Definitely not good. Is there any good news on the cyber front?
Actually, yes, a glimmer. Hacktivists breach North Korean hackers Kimsuki and expose their secrets online.
Yeah.
That kind of insight publicly divulged is apparently going to be very helpful for security folks fighting those groups. A win for the good guys getting intel out there.
Okay, some good news is welcome, but overall, the threat landscape is pretty intense. It really makes you wonder, what steps are you taking to secure your digital life? Personally, professionally, time to be vigilant.
For sure.
Wow, okay, that was quite the journey. We covered so much. AI everywhere in our browsers, AI may be developing memory and identity, the sheer speed of innovation, the societal impacts, the security nightmare. It's undeniable. We are living through a massive transformation.
Absolutely. And let's circle back to that really provocative final take from the Shift Register, their idea that we may get superintelligence before AGI. And the kicker, that SI might lack human context, lack empathy. It could be as aloof and difficult to communicate with as an octopus. As intelligent, maybe more so, but utterly alien in its experience.
An alien octopus intelligence running things. That's a powerful, slightly chilling image to end on. The source suggests if we want AI that's relatable, that sees us as partners, we have to actively train for empathy and embodiment. So here's a thought to leave you with. In a future where intelligence might be profoundly different, maybe even alien, what does it really mean to be human? And what responsibility do we have right now in shaping the potential soul of the intelligence we're creating? Lots to think about. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.